Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. We are honored to have in the studio with us the director and one of the actresses from the upcoming show, The Promise, which is held in Washington at the Antioch Church. And joining us in the studio is Danielle James. And Danielle, you play the part of Mary Magdalene. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you may notice she has an accent. She is not from Kentucky. She is from Australia.
Yes.
Down under, right?
Down under, that's
Okay.
right. I'm from Sydney, Australia, so I do sound a little bit different.
A little different. And we also have with us Vicki Bubalo.
Right.
And Vicki, you are the creator and the director of The Promise.
Yes, I am.
So let's start with you, Vicki. The Promise, whilst I know what the show is, what is the show?
It's the life of Christ. It's a musical, an epic production from birth through the ascension.
Wow, that's
Basically.
that's a pretty big show. This is not, and I don't mean to belittle things. This is not like a little church play where you have kids dressed up or something like that. This is a huge production.
It's a 3-hour production, and we always like to add that we do have camels, sheep, horse, donkey. Yes, so that kind of adds to the reality, and it's all based on first century Christianity, and we try to be as historically accurate as possible. We do change things up every year that we do it, with a few music changes, few script changes, and I know the story stays the same. That's important, but we try to add a few twists and changes every time, so keeps it interesting not only for the audience but for the cast members as well. They always come eager, trying to figure out, well, what's going to be different this time. So
you get a lot of return patrons then.
Yes, we do.
Now you have we'll have tickets for the show, and there's 9 performances, but you're already selling out some of the days.
We've
some
got
of the
2
nights.
days totally gone already. Right.
So it's really very popular. But the tickets are free, which amazes me.
That's right.
How do you pay for this production, which is not inexpensive?
Well, number one, we've always had quite a few patrons, and we send out letters to businesses and churches and just supporters. We also, in our program, we have different sections that we have. Patrons, friends, patrons, and I forget the different categories where they can become like a $500 something. I don't know what the categories are, but those kind of people. And then we have an offertory at each performance. And so those are the 3 ways that people can choose to donate so that we can keep going each year.
And roughly, this is like a $12,000 production.
That's correct.
Okay.
Each time that we do it, the animals usually rent for about $3,500. We usually pay a sound person, which runs $3,000, $3,500, and well, then just the upkeep of the sets and the fog machines, and it's just incredible the things that come up every year: the fabric for costumes, makeup, on and on.
It's big. Now, this is at the Antioch Church, but it's really not the Antioch Church's production. This is a combination.
This year we have about 140 cast members, and they come from 30 different denominations, 5 different counties. We've got 3 countries represented this year. Yes, we've got Australia, we've got a few from children that are from Mexico, a few from China, and of course America.
Right.
So we're well represented, I think, this year.
And you have 9 dates, so the show will start on...
The actual performance dates are March 11th through the 18th. 11th is on a Saturday. We do not perform on the 13th on Monday. We usually take Monday off to let everyone rest. We have a March 10th is what we call the crowd challenged evening. We invite all the nursing homes and anyone who has an issue with being in a crowd for whatever reason. Some people just, you might have an autistic child who has an issue being around a large group of people. We ask that if anyone's in a wheelchair that they come that night, because usually we have to take out 2 seats, and usually they're in an aisle situation, and so when the animals come down the aisles, for various reasons that I won't mention, you don't want to be in those aisles. You don't want to get stepped on and other things.
Camels do. Yeah, okay, all right.
Camels do
So-
what camels do.
Yeah. So, and plus you might want to leave during the performance to use the facilities, and it's just better to come on the 10th. And you don't need a ticket, so you just come.
Okay. But the other nights you do.
You do
And if
need a ticket the
If you
other
want a
nights.
ticket, what do you do to get tickets? Because you're selling out.
I'm just going to have to read that to
And
you.
I use the word selling out kind of loosely because really the tickets are free, but they do ask for a free will offering if you can.
Right, if you can.
But you do need to have tickets because you fill the place up.
Right. We're already out for sure, 100% out on Sunday the 12th. I think we're mostly out on the 11th, Saturday. Those are the 2. We have 3 matinees: Saturday, Sunday, 11th and 12th, and then the 18th Saturday. Those are 3 o'clock performances. We have one person that is in charge of divvying out all of the tickets. Her name's Marcella Flint, and what you need to do, you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to her. Her address, you want me to say it?
Sure.
5383 South, is that 100?
West.
100 West Washington, Indiana, 47501. And there is a limit of 10 tickets per form. How you get your form? We have a web page, and it's www.washingtonpromise.com. And all the ticket, you'll see a place where it says ticket information, and you just click on that and download your ticket form.
Okay.
Is that good
Now,
enough?
you said there's 140 cast members,
Right.
of which Danielle, you are one, play the part of Mary Magdalene, very important part. What intrigues you the most about The Promise? What's so exciting about being part of this?
I think, well, after meeting Vicki, I met Vicki doing the Davies County Courthouse Singers. And my husband and I moved back to Washington. My husband's originally from Washington. And I guess it's being part of the community and finding my place here, I think, and meeting lots of wonderful, like-minded people. And so and my 2 children are in it. My son is 8 and my daughter is 6. And they're loving it. They love the social aspect of it more than anything. They come and get to play with their friends and be part of a wonderful group of people. So I'm enjoying the community side of it for sure.
Now, you have a history as an actress for real.
Like real.
Like a real actress.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about in Australia. Tell us about that.
It's been my career for 20 years, I guess. The very first show that I did out of college was I played the role of Christine in Phantom of the Opera, and ended up playing that role for 3 years and touring Australia and New Zealand. So I was the Australasian production, and various other musical theatre shows. Sound of Music, Hair, Singing in the Rain. So it's been my job for. Yeah, I wouldn't know what I would do without it, actually.
And now you can add The
It's
Promise.
been part of
to
me.
your
Now I
list.
can
Yeah.
add The Promise. Yes.
We're really blessed to have her. She's real, and she mentioned the Davies County Courthouse Choir.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
She's been with us all since last summer. It's an a cappella choir that we have, and it's really been a blessing addition to
fun.
that too as well. So.
What do both of you hope that people take away from The Promise? When they go home, what do you hope inspired them, or what do you hope they take away?
Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that? Well, my hope is that they don't see just a bunch of actors and actresses on the stage, but I mean, it's our privilege to keep the story, tell the story of Jesus Christ, and that, we're all called as Christians to make disciples of all nations, and that it will actually touch the hearts of people and move them closer to Christ, and just that they will become believers. And that's what we want to do. It's just our joy to do so.
And Danielle, do you have something you hope people take away from it?
Oh, well, I think, as I said before, the sense of camaraderie and community, and there's definitely some beautiful musical pieces in the show, some fabulous singing. The whole cast are wonderful, and they've become some very good close friends, and I think that sense of
I'd like to
community.
say one thing about, she mentioned her children. There are people, since we have been doing it since 1998,
Yes.
there are people that have raised their children. I can think of families that their children were in diapers in 1998, and now those children are in college. And my life verse is Colossians 3:16. Let the words of Christ dwell in you richly as you teach and admonish one another in all wisdom, singing psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, with an attitude of gratitude in your heart. And one thing about this is that all these little children are learning the words of Christ, and they don't even realize they're doing that. And it's dwelling in them for the rest of their lives. And that is such a blessing. It'll always be inside them, the actual words of Christ. And one thing that we do before every rehearsal as a cast, we may split up and go different directions, but we start out with a devotion and a prayer. And I think that's a blessing for us.
Definitely.
And some of them, this year we're giving each cast member is turning in their life verse, like I just shared. And why is it your life verse? They're also sharing that. So it's like a little personal testimony. And I think that is allowing the cast members to get to know one another better. I mean, we always have returnee cast members, but it's usually a third every time of new people. And I think that is allowing the new people to really feel a part. Even though they're overwhelmed always, the new people, because there's so much new music.
Yeah.
And, they're boom, boom, boom. They're learning all the blocking, where to move, how to move. All this stuff is just coming at them. But we always start out with this calmness, this, and I just think it's really pulling us all together as a cast.
Sounds like a wonderful experience for cast and for
It is.
folks who come to the show, and they'll feel that. They'll see
They
that
will.
in the cast and how you all
They
work
absolutely
together.
will, and they do.
Now, logistically, so people kind of know, where is the church located? And you said the show is 3 hours?
3
Okay, so
hours.
they kind of plan their day a little bit.
Right.
Where is the church located?
Right off of I-69, Washington, Highway 50 East. You turn headed toward Montgomery.
Okay.
Very easy to find. Antioch Christian Church.
So easy to get there. Thanks to both of you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Good luck with the show. I would say break a
Thank you.
leg, but we just want you to perform well. So we've had with us Danielle James. She plays the part of Mary Magdalene in The Promise. And we've had with us the founder and director, which is Vicki Bubalo. And she has, I guess, I'm going to say you created The Promise, the show The Promise.
Well, actually, Jan Dargetz wrote the original Promise that's in Branson, Missouri. And, we have adapted it and
Okay,
redo
great.
it. I don't want to take
Beautiful.
away from her.
Well, then we're going to say you're the founder.
Founder.
Okay, of The Promise, which is going on March the 11th for 9 different shows and ends March, what's the date?
March 11th through the 18th.
Through the 18th. The 10th is a special show. You can find out more about that by contacting them through their website. Thanks, ladies, for being with us.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
Thank you for watching WJTS. We are local people watching local people.